what was farm life like?
Well, I didn't mind the work, to be honest about it. It was hard work. We had to work a lot, but we did get our opportunities, away from the chores of the day. Like in the summertime, sometimes I would go hunting up in the woods, for squirrels. And in the fields, my dad was always kind of pushing me to do things at a fairly early age. It would never be allowed these days, but like driving a team of horses. And I did that at a very young age. And I got quite proud of the fact that I could, have a team of horses sort of do what I wanted them to do and take what we called a side delivery rake, which is like 12 feet wide altogether, going through a 10-foot gate. I had the equipment like this,
hard.
and then turn around to make the back end swing around to get through the gate. I mean, that was the biggest challenge of the day, to drive a team of horses to bring a side delivery rake through a gate.
Okay.
And I had my own horse too, and I used to ride that quite a bit, and get her to jump or something like that. And so I, and then we had an old buggy, on Sundays when we weren't necessarily tied up. We drive the horse and the buggy around the countryside and stuff like that. It was fun. That's all I can say. Just great fun.
Other than that, did you learn any sort of philosophical lessons, or were you aware of, learning any philosophical kind of lessons from farm life, like,
Well,
about the importance of nature or anything like that?
Well, the first thing, in the nature of your question, I never heard of the word philosophy. So, not the one, the basic word. But yeah, I mean, I look back, and I always felt very close to nature. What I think I enjoyed the most is just being just out on the land, whether I was fishing or maybe hunting groundhogs. And when I get a groundhog, I would take and maybe cut him open and learn the anatomy of a groundhog. No, it was that sort of thing. That's what I mean. I'm not unusual, by the way. This is what farm guys do.
Yeah, of course.
Farm boys. I mean, I was just living the life of a farm boy.
And you were born in
34.
34. Okay.
Yeah.
So later in life, when you were doing your research, did you ever consciously reflect back on your experiences on the farm?
Yes. On one occasion, and particularly it goes back to my dad again. He did, although he only had 2 years of formal education, when he was in his late teens, early 20s, he was a chauffeur for a gentleman farmer, who was a stockbroker in New York. He twice sent my dad to a 6-week agriculture course at Rutgers University.
Wow.
Which my dad cherished for the rest of his life. He remembered, I think, every word he was taught. And so when in a farm, he would tell me about that. Here's what the fertilizer does, and here's when we mix the seeds of the alfalfa plant. He would tell me that this is a legume, and the roots go way down deep, and it gets nitrogen from the air. He would tell me these things, not quite knowing what he was talking about, but he was excited about that. And then we'd mix a little black powder with the seeds, which are the microorganisms, the bacteria, to be mixed with the seeds, and then that's what helped to form the nodules on the roots of the seeds to actually take the nitrogen from the atmosphere and turn it into nitrate. He told me that kind of stuff. So when I'm in school, this is what my dad is talking about, I took a course in agronomy or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he took his opportunities when he got them.
Well, clearly he had an enormous influence on you.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Would you say that's the most important influence that you had as a young man?
Oh, yeah, there's no question about that.
What about reading? Did you read a lot when you were a kid?
I remember sitting on his knee, and this is in 1938, so I was 4 years old, and he taught me how to read the word Esso, the gas, because you ride along the road, you see the sign Esso, E-S-S-O, E-S. The first word I learned how to spell, and he was wanting to teach me how to read that way. And later he was a member of a farmers club. Some of them were they were all educated to some extent as farmers, My dad didn't have it, but somehow they named him as secretary, and he couldn't really write all that well. So he'd go to the meeting, he'd come home, and they said this, they said that, and he'd want me to write the minutes for the meetings.